There's something beautiful about a man who is healed, who has gone through the process to heal, and even those who are currently working on healing. On the flip side, it's an ugly thing to see women who are in relationships with unhealed men who are covering their issues and their problems and acting like they're okay. But today I'm going to talk about the signs that you are dealing with a healed man. Because as we all know, a lot of men struggle with communicating what they're going through for whatever reason. But this channel is all about understanding the mind of men, so I'm gonna drop a few cues as to if you are dealing with a man who is healed or working on it. But before I start, make sure you follow me, subscribe, make sure you comment, like, all those beautiful things, and let's talk about a beautiful thing. The first sign that you are with a man who is healed, who is dealing with healing, who is taking a process to heal and get better for not only him but for you and his life in general, is a man who talks freely about his past, the tribulations that he has overcome, his growth in his faith. There is something beautiful and profound about a testimony. A testimony. That was that one thing when I was in church as a young man that shook my soul, that shook my foundation. Anytime I heard a testimony from someone who'd been through something, who'd been through hell and back, but made it, overcame. I'm talking about people who overcame cancer, talking about people who overcame sexual abuse, people who overcame drugs, people who died and came back to life. There is something about a testimony. A man who shares his testimony with his lady not only trusts her enough to tell those type of things, those type of intimate things, but he is proud of where he's come from. He is proud how far God has taken him, and he wants to share that to you. He wants to inspire you. There is something beautiful about overcoming your obstacles, beating the odds and the statistics. Because to be honest, as a man, you know we got ego. So to be able to say, yo, I beat the dragon, I beat the devils in my life, I beat the lions that oppressed me, I won. That's a great feeling as a man, and I want to share that with my woman. So if you have a man that does that, and not does it in a braggadocious way, I'm not saying it like that, a man who truly means it. If you start to see tears well in this guy's eyes, you are dealing with a man who is healed or is working on his healing. It's a beautiful thing. The next sign that you are dealing with a healed man is that he is not easily susceptible to negativity. And his reaction to negativity in hard times is in a healthy and positive way. Now let me give an instance. My opinion, anytime I see a man act immature in bad times and hard times, I think he's either unhealed or immature. I believe he doesn't have the knowledge to know what to do in the faces of trouble. And most likely he is going through a hell right now. But a man who knows how to face the storm, and even if he doesn't know what to do when the storm comes, he prepares himself. A man that prays, a man that keeps his chin up when things are pushing him down, is a man who's been through something. Because no one was born knowing everything, and no one will ever know everything. But there's something when you go through the storm, when you go through things, when you have a testimony and you have learned how to face trouble, how to react to it, how to deal with it. So if you are with a guy who is super immature when things get tough, he is not healed and probably not willing to heal. Some people have to hit rock bottom in order to go up. The next sign that you are dealing with a healed man or a man who is healing is a man who loves love and expresses it, tries to express it, shows you that. Because in most cases, those types of men been hurt by loved ones, and they had to be able to learn how to forgive them, how to love all over again. And I know this because I was that guy. Sometimes I see comments where I see people who are unhealed, and it's totally obvious. They'll bring up something that has nothing to do with my video and talking and bashing about their ex, what they did to them, and I feel for them. But at the same time, I know they have not healed from them. But to be able to move on is the most powerful thing you can do. Because if you consistently harbor these feelings, this regret that you have with your ex who hurt you, who claim they loved you and they hurt you, then you will continually be hurt forever. You have to let go. And I know it's easier said than done. I understand that. But you have to make that choice. Otherwise, you're going to continue to be in this dump, in this hard spot, a hardened heart. So a man who has forgave that loved one and learned to move on and love again. A man who is openly loving you and doing whatever it takes to show that love to you has probably been through something in his life. He is probably healed from a loved one who has hurt him. Real talk. Sometimes it takes hate for someone to truly appreciate love. And to my next sign that you're dealing with a man who is healing, looking for a cure. Cured is a man who speaks of the unnatural, who speaks of the impossible, who speaks on the unseen more than the evident things. A man who speaks on the things that can't be described, that can't be humanly analyzed, or sometimes you just don't understand why, more than the things that are seen, more than the problems that are evident, more than feeling broke, more than having a good job, or more than not feeling like they are as healthy as they should be. The things that can have measurements, those are things that are seen. But a man who speaks on the things that cannot be seen knows there's something greater than him. Because I've realized in my lifetime that when I started to overthink on the things that was happening to me in my life, not having a lot of money, not looking as good as I thought I should look, not having the friends in the times that I needed friends, when I anchored myself on those things, I became sad. I became angry. I became frustrated. I started to blame the world. I started to accept things and say things like, hey, maybe this is just my life. I started to accept failure. But when I got more serious in my spirituality, my relationship with God, I realized that He is greater than all these things. These things will go away. These things are temporary. But the things that are everlasting, the things that can't be weighed, the things that can't be bought or sold, the things that are greater than my problems, that is when my healing began. When you hear a man's story, when you hear a man talk, pay attention to the way he talks. Pay attention to the things he say. Is he harboring on the things that he cannot control, or is he putting his faith in something greater than him? When a man speaks and he's proud to speak on things that cannot be touched, he is speaking on something greater than him. He is speaking on something that has helped him heal, that has brought him healing, that has showed him that healing is possible. Because one thing I hate are filler conversations, cheap conversations, conversations that's going nowhere, conversations that people really don't care or mean. But man, when you hear those type of things, there's a click there. He's been through something. He has gone through something. He has overcame something, and he has healed. And the last thing I'm gonna bring up, a sign that your guy, your man, your boyfriend, your husband, your brother, your uncle, your whatever, has healed, is that he is willing to accept your help. He is willing to accept your aid instead of denying it and trying to fix things himself. I've been in that position. When I was going through my healing process, trying to understand things, trying to fix myself, I wanted to do it by myself. I didn't want no one to see the things I was going through because I felt like they were too ugly and that it was too embarrassing to show, even to the one that was closest to me, to the woman that was closest to me. And that led to the end of my relationship. If I cannot show my true self as a man to you, then what are we doing? If I have to put on a front to be with you, what are we doing? When a man puts all that aside, when he puts all the feeling of embarrassment, when he gives you that vulnerability, most likely he is ready to tell you the truth about himself, the ugly side, the dark side, and therefore he is willing to accept your help. There's a common theme with men who are not healed, and that is they do not want to be helped. And being embarrassed is one reason, not want to be vulnerable is another reason, but there's also an ego thing with a lot of men. A lot of them say, you know what, I got myself in this mess, I can get myself out of it. They feel like they have all the power, not knowing of something else greater than them. There's something else, there's other things outside of you that will bring you to your healing, but these type of men, they feel like they could do it themselves. They really feel like they got this much power to do it. And the groundbreaking is when they figure out they can't do it by themselves. My ground broke when I found out I couldn't do it by myself. I cannot do this life by myself. I had to break down all those thoughts that I established and solidified in my thinking. That, yo, Sealz, you cannot do this yourself. And I fought it so long and so hard. But then I realized I cannot do this by myself. And that is when my healing started. My acceptance of my limits broke my limits for my potential healing. Man, this is a beautiful thing to talk about. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And if you see these signs, these cues in your man, just saying there's a high possibility that he's been through some things and that he is healing or that he has healed. Beautiful thing. All right, so catch y'all in my next video. Thank you for coming back and checking your guy, Sealz the Man, out. Peace and blessings. Have a good day.